Hello and welcome from the Palm Beach Boat Show. It's a Wednesday walkthrough, just me and the camera. We wanted to bring you this from the Palm Beach Show. It's the Maritimo M50. It's having its US debut, and the reason I wanted to film this is because we don't really see boats like this over in the UK or in Europe all that often. So it's a good opportunity to show you around a boat like this and show you what it offers, because weirdly enough, I think it actually has quite a lot to offer for certainly Northern European climates or climates like you have in the UK. As the name suggests, it's a 50-footer. So this actually shares some underpinnings with the M55 over there, but there are some key differences which I'm going to explain as we move through the boat. But starting right back here, this is quite a cool bit of design on the M50, because it's an area that they've designed to be a really good functional living space. So you've got things like a fridge back here, so you can keep your cool drinks at the back of the boat. You've got twin grills and a sink, and in the middle access down to an enormous lazarette. Phenomenal amount of storage space in there, which you can actually climb down into. There's a ladder here, so totally separate from the engine room. We'll go there later on, but yeah, it's a seriously practical machine. That is obvious from the start, but the point of having all that stuff there, the grill and the sink and the fridge, is that you've also got the hydraulic bathing platform. So you can drop this down into the water. Obviously it's a way to launch a tender as well, but also a really nice place to spend time when you're anchored. Drop the platform down, open up the grill, open up the sink, and you're right by the waterline, but you also have the seating of the cockpit, which is really well protected. Other things to note down here, you've got cleats, so you can tie off the tender. Obviously you've got your mooring gear as well. And it feels really substantial. The stainless steel is lovely and chunky, the mouldings are really smooth and solid. They do build a really high quality machine. Got a deck shower here, you can wash off after a dip. And then coming into the cockpit, it's nicely split between the cockpit area and the space at the bathing platform. But this is a lovely shady spot, perfect for lunch. Got the fixed bench, space for some chairs as well. And some of the practical detailing is lovely. Like for example, the rope lockers are all covered, so you can keep kit down there and hide it away. And a nice solid overhang with an extension, so plenty of shade if you want to have lunch in this area. No way of serving yourself out here, but obviously the galley is just there, so that's not too much of an issue. And you'll see you've got the Fusion stereo system quite neatly integrated into the coaming here. Now I'm going to stay on deck. The interior is quite special for a number of reasons, but let me just whip you around the decks first and then we'll head inside. So symmetrical deck layout. Nice wide side decks. I'm able to walk down these with my feet side by side. I mean, it is very, very bright. It's all very white. That's the only thing. But you can put cushions up here to give yourself some sunbathing space, and it's nice and low. We'll see if that compromises headroom in the forward cabin when we go inside, but it's not a big step to get over this foredeck hump onto the coach roof. Lots of glass in there as well. And yeah, you can put sunbathing cushions on there and make it a really nice sunbathing space, but it's very, very bright. With the white colour scheme as well, I think these look great with the dark hull. It's a nice contrast. Right forward, you've got a nice sunken well for the anchor, so any grime, water, sand, mud comes into this well and back out the boat, not all over the decks. That's very smart. And then nice big anchor lockers on either side as well. Maritimos are designed generally to be used by owners, not with crew, to cruise fast offshore. They're very capable and they're practical and they're designed to look after you. So that's the main deck exterior. Let's pop inside and have a look at the interior. Now, one thing you'll notice immediately on this style of boat, no lower helm. It will become obvious why in a moment. But that does mean there's a lot of living space here. So it pushes right forward. Got the lounge, obviously the TV there. We'll come on to that in a second. Let's just have a close look at the kitchen, where everything's split across either side with the island in the middle. A small island, but still, it's a nice feature. Makes it feel a bit more like a house than a boat. A couple of sharp corners here and there, but some useful storage in there. So you've got freezer drawers on this side with an ice maker. And then opposite is where you find the fridge and freezer. So cooling space is good. Other facilities include microwave oven, induction hob. And I really like this bit of storage here. That's very handy, the big pantry. Look at that. I won't open every cupboard, but I think that's the sort of useful stuff that Maritimo include that lots of other brands wouldn't bother to fit in. This looks a little incongruous here. Works really well outside, but it just looks like it's been sort of slapped in the middle of what is quite a nice wooden fascia there. I wonder if they could find a neater way to integrate that. But then the sink acts as a bit of a partition between the galley and the living area. And I guess if you are washing up, it's nice that you're facing into the boat so you can have a chat with the people in the saloon while that's going on. Very, very bright in here. Of course, they've not got to account for a helm station, as I've said, so they can just really maximise the glazed area. And these open as well. Manual sliding windows. It's obviously air conditioned within an inch of its life. But yeah, you can open these up and get a bit of a cross breeze if you need to. So yeah, very big saloon seating area. You know, no helm to nibble up space. And this is obviously set up as a day bed. You can slide this section away to make it into a sofa. But there's a reason they want this to be a bed, and that'll be made clear when we pop downstairs in a moment. But that does look very inviting, doesn't it? If the weather's not great, you can lie there and be sheltered, but you've still got a lovely view out. I quite like that arrangement. Table, of course, opens up to double in size, and then the TV drops down out the way when it's not in use. Well, let's head downstairs. And I suppose the slightly surprising element about the layout is that this boat, a 50-footer, has got 2 cabins. Not the 3 you'd normally expect, hence why they created the daybed in the saloon. And this is quite an interesting cabin because they've put it on an angle, the berth, I should say. There's the headroom. Pretty good, you know, I'm right forward as well, so this is the lowest point, and I can stand up really comfortably in here. And this is where we see the benefit of that long piece of glazing on the foredeck. So that's bringing in light because you haven't got portholes, so you're really relying on the skylight, and it does a great job. But you'll see there's a split in this berth, so okay, you've only got 2 cabins, but they're flexible, so these can split and become a pair of twins in a second, and then you can have them as a double like this. Storage over there in the hanging wardrobe. There's also storage above the bed, and a nice big TV mounted on the wall too. 2 cabins, 2 bathrooms. It's nice and private. And again, headroom's really good in here. If I step into the toilet, you can see full standing headroom in the shower as well. So nice and comfortable to have a wash in here. And then heading amidships, we drop down a level where you find the washer dryer facilities. And we come into the owner's cabin, which is full beam and amidships. Same width as the 55, so it is a really nice big cabin. Gotta say, it feels quite princess-esque down here. The walnut finish, the choice of colours. No bad thing, very classy. Again, storage is excellent. Hanging wardrobes on both sides. Space in the middle for a decent sized TV. And then you can see the size of the bed. It's really large, and it's set quite high as well. Again, it feels domestic. It doesn't feel like you're squeezing into a boat's berth. It feels like the sort of bed you'd find at home or in a hotel. And there's storage dotted down both sides as well in drawer form. So yeah, if you're on board for a long time doing some serious offshore cruising, you've got plenty of space to stow your stuff. The bathroom in this cabin runs forward actually, but it's a really good size. This is the thing. They've dropped the cabin number down, but the 2 cabins you have got and their bathrooms are really generous. This feels enormous for a 50-footer. And I like how they've got the skylight directly above the shower as well. That's a clever idea. But this is a huge space. There's so much room in here. Headroom is ridiculous. And Maritimo say that a lot of their customers are couples who will very occasionally have guests. So having 2 cabins and an ad hoc berth up in the saloon works really well. So 4 people can stay really, really comfortably, and it's very private as well. But upstairs is where we want to be, because this is what sets Maritimo apart from, well, everybody apart from Riviera, who also do this. But yeah, this is it. The enclosed flybridge, fully enclosed upper helm, with a pretty fantastic driving position. Look at that. You know, this is your only helm, so they've really made the most of it. It's a really, really impressive space. Obviously the view is incredibly commanding because you're sitting up so high. 3 big screens with remote control down here. So you can use that control to control the MFD, so you can sit back in your chair and control everything. This boat's a shaft drive, twin Volvo 800 horsepower, top speed of about 29 knots, cruise at 22 knots, and you're going to get 350 nautical miles out of it. So it is a proper fast cruising machine, and this would be a really great place to travel in calm water, but I think in heavy weather this would be great because you're so insulated from it because you're so high up. And just look at these seats. Tell me a better, more comfortable looking boat seat, helm chair I should say, than these. Look at those. And they're giving me Volvo Saab vibes. They look so comfy, electrically adjustable. Yeah, really designed to cover the hard yards in great comfort. Very impressive. Elsewhere, there's a little sofa here. It's not huge. You've got a TV down there as well. So you can watch TV up here. No sunroof, but there is glazing in the roof. And you can open these as well to get some ventilation. And then back here, you have the terrace. Pretty simple. Not much going on out here. Got some chairs so you can sit and catch the sun and the breeze, but you have got a fantastic view out over the aft platform. Now these boats can be made quite fishing orientated. So if you're into your fishing, then you can really put some thought into that and set these boats up so that they're really well attuned to that purpose. And this is a great place to be if someone is fishing. Up here, you're looking down on the action, but you're out of it, and you've got a fantastic view. I wouldn't actually mind having a docking station out here, personally. We are going to jump down into the engine room. And let me tell you, you're in for a treat. So there's a hatch here. That lifts up without having to do anything to the table. And you can see that nice ladder. They do make this stuff really easy. Look, the whole floor is all nice and soft, so no hard checker plate down here. If you're crawling around, you'll really appreciate that. And look at this engine room space. It is absolutely immaculate with these 2 D13-800s. Look at the access to everything as well. The shafts down here. You can get around the engines on both sides really easily. Look at the space outboard of them. So rare to have this much room to move around in. You see everything's boxed in down there, nice and neatly. It is so clean and tidy down here. And that speaks to its purpose, to be looked after by an owner. Make it easy. Fuel tanks forward, you can see we've got the Raycor fuel filters with the clear bulbs, so you can make sure there are no nasties floating around inside your fuel. Easy access to things like dipsticks, filters, all of that stuff. You can get to the bilge easily. And then right aft, bearing in mind, we've got the lazarette through there, you've still got all of this space, including plenty of space around the generator. Now you can tell a lot by the nice aesthetic stuff inside an interior and how the cabinetry looks and feels. But you can tell even more by how a brand puts together an area like this. And really, I'd say this size, this sector, It's absolutely outstanding. There's another episode of Walkthrough Wednesday for you. I want to make the point, these are not designed to replace our existing content, the stuff we put out on a Saturday where it's me and Rob and I'm on camera and we're testing boats. This is just additional content so we can bring you guys more boats, more reviews. They're easier to shoot, they're easy to edit. And that's why we're doing it, but it is not replacing anything we're already doing. So thank you for your support with that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know what you thought about the boat and the video in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And remember, loads of information about this boat on yachtbuyer.com, so head over there and have a look. You can look at this boat in great detail and compare it to all its rivals. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack. You've been watching YachtBuyer.